because like I don't want to live life where I'm just like, you know, the angry guy in line that's like rushing and like yelling at people. Like I don't want to live like that, and I don't want to be the type of person that like I don't want to be the one that lets their emotions get the best of them.
Right.
You know, because in every time I've overreacted or gotten mad at someone or been out of character, I always think back and I'm like, that's not me.
Right.
You know, so like,
if anything, that was them puppeteering your emotions to conform to the circumstances that caused you to be mad in the first place.
yeah.
It's like, if you're going to, yeah, my bad.
Holy shit. I was like, wait,
Yeah,
damn.
Sometimes I just be dropping
You gotta break
sentences.
that down.
Yeah.
I was like a 16 bar verse.
The champion mindset. And that's why people couldn't stand Michael Jordan. Because they were like, they're like, bro, we can't be you. And he's like, well, I don't care. Try your hardest to be the best you. Not only is change needed, listen, change is inevitable. It's inevitable.
I mean, speaking of even like music and like extending your creative genius outside of just filmmaking, like, dude, you had an EP come out a couple months ago, last month.
Yeah.
How long ago was it?
We dropped it. I think it was like 1st of September.
Okay, nice, nice. And by the way, out on all platforms?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we dropped an EP called Pre-Board. It was just a 3-song EP.
That's right. You were surviving an airplane crash. I remember.
Yeah.
I peeped, bro.
Yeah, bro. So it's crazy. So the cover art, I actually made that. So the cover art consists of 3 photos. It's an airplane crashing. It's me like getting out of like a body of water with my suitcase, and then me like on the curve. Like
You posted this when?
this was like in August.
Okay,
when I
that's
started,
right.
like, rolling
Okay.
out. And that whole EP was inspired off just like I traveled so much this summer. Like I was in airports like more than I should have been, bro. Like every single week I was in an airport with like layovers. Some of my flights got canceled for some shoots, and I was just living at the airport.
Was it because what you do for a living?
Yeah.
Okay. And what exactly do you do for a living?
So my bread and butter as of now, I work as a freelance director and cinematographer.
Nice.
So I'll get booked by agencies or other production companies or just
Nice.
direct client, and they'll book me to direct videos or shoot videos for them.
Do you have a website or a place that people can reach out to you?
Yeah. EsaiSaenz.com.
Nice.
It has all my stuff.
Hey, there you go, brother.
Yep.
Nice. Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so Pre-Board, it was inspired off just traveling. So it's themed off just like flying.
It's safe to say that you took what was a pressuring variable on the negative end, on the stress and anxiety end, always being in airports, not being at home, layovers. Trust me, bro. I was in Vegas when me and my boy went to Tahoe for this hike, and we were in the airport for 16 hours. Like, flight got canceled, and then blah, 16 hours. And I'm like, anybody who travels to the degree where they have to potentially experience this, I salute, because no, thank you.
Yeah.
And you were able to take something as pressuring as that experience and transmutate it into something creative.
Yeah.
By transmutate, I just mean like transform or airbend. I like to always say like airbend your anger, or airbend your emotion, right, into something constructive. And you were able to construct it into, I mean, I don't know if that was conscious, subconscious.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think I definitely did that subconsciously. And I feel like even in the situations, like I just really have challenged myself and try to like look at life as optimistically as possible. Like,
Where do you think that comes from?
Probably from my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom's definitely a delusional optimist, and I think I'm a delusional optimist as well.
Hey, that's a sign that you had a good mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, my mom, I mean, she's definitely my rock. Like, my mom is the reason I am who I am. And yeah, she's definitely always looking at the brighter side, always trying to find the good and stuff, even when it's just terrible. You know?
Yeah.
So like being at the airport, you know, getting your baggage lost, and even like there's one shoot where I was traveling internationally and I was coming back and I had the worst, like, I think I got E. coli, bro. I had a fever like on the flight. I had to pretend that I didn't have a fever because
it was like COVID times?
Yeah. So I had to act normal, but I'm like shaking from like on the airplane. Like,
right.
Bro, it was terrible.
Where were you traveling from?
Oaxaca, Mexico.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So I was there for a week on a shoot, ate something. I think what happened was it was like our last day. We wrapped up the shoot and we went to like the square, and there's like a bunch of different like pop-up vendors and stuff. And this guy had a picture of like this Doritos bag that he cut in half and he put a bunch of just random stuff inside of it.
Okay.
And it looked good. It was like peanuts, Doritos, like hot sauce, all this shit.
E. coli.
Bro, it must have been. Because when he handed it to me, it had gummy worms. It had, oh my gosh, it had gummy worms. It had like, I think like chocolate covered raisins, like the most disgusting shit. It was like he just grabbed whatever he could and threw it in there. And that was the night I got sick. And,
Okay.
bro, I was like out, bro. Like I was sick for probably 8 or 10 days, had a fever for like 5 days straight.
Damn.
It was bad. It was worse than when I got COVID. Like it was terrible. E. coli is not to be fucked with. I lost like 10 pounds in a week. It was crazy. But yeah, even like through that, I was like, at least like the plane didn't crash, you know, like, yeah, at least like there's a bathroom I can go like have diarrhea in, you know, like, so yeah, I mean, it wasn't like, I always try to look at life that way. And when bad things happen, like, you know, I always try to find the good in it. Cause like, I don't want to live life where I'm just like, you know, the angry guy online that's like rushing and like yelling at people. Like, I don't want to live like that. And I don't want to be the type of person that like, I don't want to be the one that lets their emotions get the best of them.
Right.
You know, because every time I've overreacted or gotten mad at someone or been out of character, I always think back and I'm like, that's not me.
Right.
You know, so like.
If anything, that was them puppeteering your emotions to conform to the circumstances that caused you to be mad in the first place.
Yeah.
It's like, if you're going to, yeah, my bad.
Oh, I was like, wait, damn.
Sometimes I just be dropping fucking sentences.
Break that down. Yeah. That was like a 16 bar verse.
It's too easy, I think, to give into the emotions. It's too easy to be that angry guy in line. It's harder to take a step back, think about how you're feeling, contemplate it, and then progress in action. And that's something that every client I work with is the pinnacle of why they are in the position for me to have to work with them in the first place, is because they allow the world to dictate their actions rather than allowing themselves to choose how to act in response to the world.
Yeah. Yeah. Big facts.
That's what the puppeteering sort of anecdote I was alluding to is if you allow other people in a situation, let's just say someone cut you off, and let's say they cut you off and they're brake checking you while flipping you off in the mirror, and you didn't do nothing. They're just doing that because they're having a bad day and they're an asshole. Yeah. It's like all those variables are justified in your mind to react accordingly, and you allowing yourself and again, at this point, I think if you've done it long enough, it's nearly unconscious and it's habitual, but you allowing yourself to not give into that is the harder route that most people don't decide to do. And the majority of people will give into those emotions because most times they're not prepared. They don't have the tools to know how to not react to that, but realistically, because it's the easier route.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot more work. It's definitely like, it's easier to let out that frustration or say exactly how you feel in the moment. But one thing I hate is like, even more than that is like 2-3 hours later, you're still hot about this. You're still thinking about this. Like now they've not only like affected you in that moment, but your whole day. You're like,
got real estate in your mind now.
Yeah. Yeah. And this person probably got over it in like 10 minutes.
Literally.
They're living their best life.
Because they were the puppeteer. They weren't in their mind, they're acting how they want. Yeah. But you're reacting to their action. And so if you can be not in the negative sense, but more like them in the sense that you're leading your own action. And then when you lead it in a way where it's independent or incumbent on you choosing what it is you're going to decide next, it's all in your power and your choice. Yep. And when you give in to the impulsivity of your emotions, and this is where I think being in a day and age, and we kind of talk about like, I don't know where you are with like religion and stuff. Like I wrote a book about religion and history in 2018. So at some point in a lot of my conversations, if you look up there, that book that's in black and white, Introspective Rationale.
What?
Yeah,
I think I remember you posting about that.
Yeah.
Can I grab it?
Hell yeah. So I think in the 21st century, a lot of people, because they don't believe in God, what they'll do is, or they don't have a foundational essence of their belief structure, of their ethical system to define what they believe in, what they do is they act like people who in the Bible are claimed as religiousless or kafirs in Islam or Gentiles or non-believers in Christianity and Judaism. Yep. they give in to their emotions without taking the power of God's word or the power of God's strength to step back and choose for themselves. They instead act like primitive animals and give in to the impulsivity of their emotions without allowing themselves to realize how blessed they are to even have the choice to choose in the first place.
Yeah. I mean, that's just slapping God's blessing of a free will.
And why do you think people nowadays are like, free will doesn't exist, determinism, I can't make my life better than what it is because I'm determined to be this way? Like, they all believe that because they lost the word.
Yep. Nah, big facts. I'm a Christian, bro, and I always read the Bible and I'm always listening to stuff. And one of the biggest things that I take away, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, bro. I mean, yeah, I think that's one thing I always pray for. I'm like, yo, like, God, like, please give me guidance and wisdom. And then also, like, I will never be able to live like Jesus or live like God, but I pray to always have the drive and ambition to try to, you know? And with that, like, you know, if someone cuts me off, it's not me trying to live more like Jesus if I'm like cussing them out, you know? So I got to be like, you know what? Like, I'm going to take.
What would Jesus do?
Right, exactly.
Literally, though, I swear to goodness.
Big facts. And a lot of times, like, I felt a lot of freedom in just being able to think like that and then just let things go.
Yeah.
Cause you know, the most time I've spent just energy wasted on an interaction or relationship or someone does me dirty, you know, I'll realize I'm so invested in this because not because of what they did to me, but because of my pride and ego now. I'm not entitled to anything. They're not entitled to anything. If I help someone, I shouldn't expect them to do the same thing for me.
Right.
Like that's me not living genuinely to do good things. I'm just trying to like up my amount of good things that people can do for me because I've done for them. You know, it's very transactional, and I don't want to live like that. I want to, you know, if someone asks me for money, if I have it, I'll give it to you.
Right.
Like, it's not a loan, just take it. You know, like
literally.
I don't want to be a money shark. You know, I don't want to be having to come reclaim my money, like,
or an opportunity shark.
Yeah,
I gave you this opportunity. Remember when I gave you this opportunity? Now XYZ. It's like having the strength of the testimony of the Bible or whatever religious structure we believe in. I think it's very important for us to not get lost in that sauce, the sauce of us getting caught up in the impulsivity of our emotions, rather than understanding we have the power to choose how we react to any situation and circumstance, no matter how negative it may seem to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's our free will.
Man, that's what that book's about.
That's our free will.
Yeah, the book, it's more of a history book, but yeah, that's pretty much what I try to explain throughout the entire narrative of that is, look, the only way you're going to understand how Christians got to the point of truly believing in or adhering to the belief structure of their faith is because they understand the moral of the story in the Bible. Now, if you don't want to read the whole Bible, let me at least give you the moral of the story. And if you do that with specific religious sections, you'll be able to get to the overall narrative of how we got to where we are today. And through there, I go Mesopotamia, Egypt, Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam. Those are the main 5 historical narratives that I go through when trying to understand those underlying concepts. But
bro, this is gas. This is on Amazon. Where can you order it?
Amazon, Barnes and Nobles. Yep. Bro. There's an audiobook too.
Because I know like Amazon, Barnes and Noble, they probably all take cuts. What's like the best way to buy a book from you? Like where you get most of the money?
So the way it is I have a third-party intermediary that prints all the books on demand. And then they distribute it to those distributors. So I get paid through them independently because I technically own all the rights to my book instead of selling it to an in-house publisher where they would buy 50,000 copies and I would then technically be a bestseller, but it would just sit on shelves even if nobody buys it. They printed and bought 50,000 copies or whatever. So I said, I don't care about printing 50,000 copies or being a bestseller. I want to make sure I own my rights to my work. This is my work. So I went the independent route, published it independently, used a third-party intermediary to get me all the major retailers to sell it through.
Wow.
So you can get through either one of them, any of them, and it'll all be the same cut.
Okay, better.
I appreciate that, though. I
yeah,
do.
No, yeah.
That's hella good.
No, for sure, bro. That's crazy. That's you can essentially buy your best, like New York Times seller position, right? If you...
Let's be honest, though. How do you get famous, like, nowadays? Without working the way you and I are working, the slow, arduous way.
How do you get famous? I mean, you have money to pay for ads.
Thank you. You have money to pay to play. That's what it is. It's pay to play.
I feel like they're doing it ass backwards though, because
they're not having. What did we talk about at the beginning? They don't have the quality product that people actually care about.
Yeah, and a community. You get to develop a community. It takes hella time. Like people are going to support you because they see you grinding. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta earn people's respect, earn people's reason to watch you. You know, you can't just buy it. You know, and if you do, it's not long lasting.
It's about the growth from the journey and the process reaching that pinnacle.
Mm-hmm.
And again, bro, it speaks through not only the essence of the project outside of the superficial professionalism, just how it looks and how it sounds and how the narrative is and all that, but the communal aspect behind it.
Yeah.
And for you to do that with Elevator Money, for you to do that with all the creative endeavors you've been on, with the EP you just dropped, again, one of my favorite, you want to talk about biblical quotes, you ever heard of Galatians 6:9? Nice.
Read it to me. Tell me about it.
It's, do not fret if your crops haven't grown this season or if they haven't harvested this season, for they will harvest if you just keep trying, if you don't give up.
Yeah.
Which means it doesn't matter if you're not reaping the rewards of your efforts immediately. And in the 21st century, what's the hardest thing we have to fight? Instant gratification. The immediacy of being gratified and having our dopamines satiated without having to work for it and without having to actually grind for it.
Yep.
And so this biblical quote, Galatians 6:9, all it talks about is, even though, and it's even more important in the 21st century, even though you're grinding and you're not reaping the harvest of your effort, or is it the fruits of your harvest? Something like that.
I don't know.
Right.
You're giving me game right now.
Have patience that over a consistent period of time and not giving up, you will be able to reap the fruits of your harvest. Let's just go with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's Galatians 6:9. It's one of my favorite quotes in the Bible.
Yeah.
It's in the New Testament, and it's talking about keep grinding even though you're not getting the rewards.
Fact.
Keep grinding even though you're not getting the rewards, because one day you're going to see yourself at Armor Road Screenland with 250 plus people in the audience wondering, holy fuck, this was just an idea and now look what it is.
Yeah.
It's something, it's a movement.
Yeah.
Now you're about to go out to LA and pitch and bring it back to KC. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
man. Yeah, bro. It's so important. Like, you have to not only like understand you're not going to get everything immediately, but also like to be like a long-term player, you have to love it. You have to be okay with, in this point of my story and my timeline, I'm stuck at 980 subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're looking at it as a movie or script, like, you're going to look back on that and be like, but now I'm at 10,000. Now I'm at 20,000.
Exactly.
And you have to be so grateful and appreciative of that spot you're in now, because that's going to add to your story.
Thanks for watching that clip. This episode is brought to you by Manscaped.com. Support for self-sustained training is brought to you by the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Manscaped just launched their 4th generation trimmer, the Lawnmower 4.0. You heard that right, the 4.0. Join the 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with this exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free shipping worldwide with code SST at Manscaped.com.
Yeah, shout out to Manscaped, man. They were nice enough to send us this Performance Package 4.0, which is their luxury grooming kit. And it comes with the Lawnmower 4.0 electric trimmer, the Weed Whacker for your ear and your nose hairs, and then all your post-shave performance essentials in the deodorant and the toner. Plus, they give you an anti-chafing boxer, which is super comfortable.
Super comfortable.
And then they top off the Performance Package with a nice little travel bag so you can carry all of your grooming tools with you. And you can get 20% off and free shipping with code SST at manscaped.com.
That's 20% off using code SST at Manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools with the job using Manscaped.